of the literature, methodology, discussion, conclusion, and suggestion. As this presentation is based on my study, conducted in 2010. Why I did this research? Because first, genre-based approaches become increasingly influential in the field of English language teaching. In Indonesia, we implemented a genre-based approach, and then in Australia, some part of South Africa, and in other part of the world. And then the study regarding the effectiveness of teaching writing of English based on genre-based on the EFL context, especially, have been conducted also in Indonesia by Melia, in Korea, in Japan, and in Malaysia. And then, in teaching writing in Indonesian EFL context, there are some problem. First, writing was considered as the most difficult language skill to be learned by the majority of Indonesian students. And then the second, the students are barely exposed to writing practice. And then the third, the teacher or lecturer, they have a lack of knowledge in how to teach writing for their student. And then the last reason why I did this research, because the studies on the implementation of the genre-based approach to teaching exposition in Indonesian EFL context at the total level of education is still rare and still infrequent. Next. And then there are two research problem or research question for my study. First, how is GBA implemented in teaching exposition? And the second, what are the issues emerge in the teaching program? So, in doing this research, it should be based by some review of literature, some reference. First, there are around 5 theories that base my research. The first is genre is considered as text type. It means that there are many kind of text should be there are many kind of text that students should be able to write, especially for secondary level, like narrative, and then exposition, discussion, recount, and then the text divided into 2 categories, factual and non-factual. In this context, I took a factual writing, that is exposition text. And then the second principle, in the first principle, as a text type, the text should be analyzed from 3 aspects. First, social function. Second, semantic structure. And then the last, language features, as proposed by Deruyanka, Kopp and Karengis, and then Martin. And then the second principle underlying GPA, language learning as social activity and explicit teaching. Social activity is mean that in language learning, the students should be collaborate and communicate with each other. So they learn their in a social context. They learn from each other. They learn from the teacher and also from other students. And then the second is explicit teaching. In this context, especially in Indonesia context, the student more comfortable when the teacher teaches them explicitly, especially in writing. They provide with semantic structure. Let's say how to construct exposition text. The teacher explain first how to construct exposition, like what is the issues or the thesis, and then what is the argument should be, and then how to construct a conclusion or recommendation. However, GBA is also criticized by some experts, especially from progressivism, because of its explicitness. It means that GPA effectiveness will be depend on the creativity of the teachers itself. It means that if the teachers do not creative or really knowledgeable in teaching writing, the student will not get good result in their writing. And then because the explicit also, it will lead to student passiveness. It's according to Friedman and Midway. Next. And then there are 4 stages in teaching cycle based on genre-based approach. Actually, there are 5. In this study, I only implemented 4 stages. There are knowledge of field, modeling of the text, joint construction of the text, and then independent construction of the text. And the 5th is joy-related text. In this context, I didn't do these activities. Next. And then because this research exposed about how to teach writing on exposition text, so I also provide this research with the nature of exposition text. First, type of exposition text. There are 2 types of exposition text. First, hortatory, and the second is analytical exposition. The difference between hortatory and analytical is only in the part of conclusion, or in hortatory usually called recommendation, while in analytical usually what is reiteration. It means in hortatory we persuade to, while in analytical persuade that to our to the reader. And then the semantic structure of this text consists of issues. It means in the issue or thesis, the writer should be able to point out his position, because in exposition is can be categorized as argumentative text, but from one perspective, one viewpoint of the writer. It means that in the first session or first paragraph, usually the writer should be able to convince the reader what they are going to argue in the argument session. And then the second is arguments. The arguments will support what the issue provide in the first paragraph, and then the last, recommendation or reiteration, to reiterate or to recommend what the argument have been explained in the previous paragraph. And then the fourth is linguistic features. The linguistic features of exposition text consists of the use of modality. The use of modality show the attitude of the writer on a particular topic, whether he or she strong, medium, or weak in giving his or her argument. And then the participant, usually an abstract participant, because most of the participants usually not human participant. Let's say like the topic of the use of cell phone, yeah, in classroom. And then there are the use of simple present and also nominalization. And then methodology for this research. First, research design. The design use a qualitative approach, particularly case study, and some of the characteristics of evaluation, program evaluation, because in this case I evaluate some program whether it should be changed or it should be improved. And then the second research side, the research has been done in private university, in one private university, in West Java, Indonesia, and then the participants are the third grade students. And then for the sampling, I use purposive sampling because I need the student who has who had learned argumentative writing in his or her college. And then for data collection, I use observation, classroom observation, text analysis, and interview with the student. And then the data analysis based on the data collection. Next. And then the discussion. The discussion consists of two parts. First is teaching program itself, and then the second issues emerge in teaching program. The teaching program consists of preliminary session and then the implementation itself. Yeah, next. For preliminary session, first I inform the student what I'm going to do along the semester. Yeah, because I need their voluntary to join my research, and then it is also aimed to get their attention, and also to make them realize that they are going to do something along this semester. And then asking the student to do a diagnostic writing. Firstly, I ask the student to write argumentative text, yeah, and I didn't tell anything about argumentative text, especially I asked them to write on the topic, not particular topic, on any topic, it's mean, because I want to know about their knowledge on argumentative writing. And then the third, deciding on the topics offered in the teaching program. I asked the student what topic would be touched along this would be teach along the semester, and then the student they choose two topics. First, cell phone in the classroom, and then the second, bilingual education. And then this is implementation. The teaching program based on the teaching cycle has been proposed by Martin and then Derianka. Consists of building knowledge of field, modeling, joint construction of the text, and individual construction of the text. In building knowledge of the text, first build up semantic web of student current knowledge of the topic, teaching new vocabulary as appropriate. Let's say for the first topic is cell phone in the classroom. I did a semantic map. Firstly, I write cell phone. What would be what vocabulary would be appear concerning cell phone? They tell about connection, about internet, about anything related to cell phone. And also, I asked the student to do semantic web activities. First, they asked to write cell phone in the center, and then the second, they have to write vocabulary related to cell phone. And the student work in group. Every group has different color of pen, and then I give them 3 minutes. Having they work in 3 minutes, they remove their work and then offer to other group. So other group have to peel vocabulary, other vocabulary. Yeah. So at the end, we will have a lot of vocabulary from several groups. And then I also use a picture to elicit or teach vocabulary. I show them a picture of shell phone and then the part of shell phone, and also I ask them to write a comment on particular picture concerning the use of cell phone in the classroom, and then watch video provide an information. It means that firstly I ask the student to watch the video. The video is about the student who use cell phone in the classroom, and their teacher angry because of the teacher. Because the student calling his friend while the teacher explained about something. Yeah, the title is "Angry Korean Teacher" in what is in classroom. And then next to the modeling, having I teach them in having I provide them with background knowledge on particular topic. So I go to the modeling. In this session, I explain about semantic structure of the text, especially exposition text, and then language features. Yeah, and then I also display example of the text have been written by native writer. So they will know how other writer write an exposition text. So we analyze together about about the language features, how to construct simple present, how to make it into passive, yeah, in a modeling session. So after that, having they get knowledge on exposition text, how to write exposition text, I ask the student to work in group, and they write exposition text, and then they get information from each of the student, having they try to write the text. I try to give this text, yeah, from one group to other groups to be revised, to be like peer correction. And also I ask them to all of the students to contribute ideas about what to write. It means that in in group discussion, I also ask them what you are going to write, what topic you are going to write. So what should be write first for this topic, and then what the next, and then what argument will be used to support this topic, and then what kind of recommendation or reiteration will be written in the last paragraph. Having they do what is a joint construction. So when I saw the student getting confidence to write individually, so I asked them to write the text individually. Although in this context the student have to write individually, it doesn't mean that the student couldn't ask the teacher or the others. They still can ask the teachers, yeah, when they have a problem in constructing the text. And I also approach the student when I show him or her has had a problem in writing the text, and ask them what seems to be the problem, and then I explain. Okay, and then in this session, this session is not only done in one session, but about three sessions, because I remind them that the final version is for public display. It means that it should be good. Yeah. Next book. So this study is was without problem or issues emerge in teaching program. First, the problem: the student who had negative response to this activity didn't try to synthesize the text, especially in background knowledge of field session. They just take note from other student, like cheating. And the student conflict, especially in joint construction, when they try to construct the text, yeah, there was some conflict, because one student want this argument, while the student wants this argument. And then next, discussion in group can be potential problem when it was stuck and the members of group couldn't share their ideas anymore. So when the groups doesn't have idea anymore, it was stuck. So this is the role of the teacher should try to approach them and then to encourage them to write. And then next, there were some students who had difficulties in developing their writing. It means that still because it doesn't mean I left the student, but because the time of the research, so although the students still have a problem, I go to other topics. Action and suggestion. First, for the conclusion, the study has shown that teaching program under the GPA can help students in enhancing performance of their writing skill. And then second, students generally perceive that teaching program was useful for them. And then third, the implementation of GPA to teaching writing applicable and appropriate to be implemented for teaching writing in tertiary level. And then next, the student, the suggestion, the student should be given opportunities to write and rewrite the text and to interact with the teacher and their peers in the process of writing. And the last, the teacher should engage the student in terms of providing background knowledge, giving example and exploring how to create the text and encourage them to write that everyone can write. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.